The Obama administration is seeking help from the public on the future of the housing finance system, including Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Housing and Urban Development Secretary Shaun Donovan testified before the House Financial Services Committee today on the administration's efforts to reform the Housing Finance Committee. We're pleased to have Secretary Donovan joining us now. Welcome to you.
It's great to be with you.
So this report released by the TARP Oversight Panel also suggesting that the administration's efforts to avert foreclosures really aren't helping borrowers. Your reaction to that?
Well, I think if you look at the facts, we've reached over 1.1 million families. We released a report today that shows that the number of permanent modifications under a program has accelerated greatly. And one of the problems is I don't think folks have focused enough on the broad efforts that we've made to help the housing market. The Federal Reserve, you look at their data, the average American homeowner added about $13,000 to their home equity from April of last year through the end of the year, the latest data we have. So our broad efforts to stabilize the market, keep interest rates low, and to help millions of families stay in their home are actually having a big effect on the market. They've helped to stabilize it. So we are making real progress, even though the recovery is still fragile.
That said, and in addition to the progress you've made thus far, do you think some changes are needed to the administration's program to continue to help spur lending and aid borrowers?
Well, we did announce some changes a few weeks ago that are going to better target unemployed borrowers and borrowers that are underwater. You know, when we came into office, the problem was really bad loans. As the situation has changed to be more a problem of unemployment and underwater borrowers, we've adjusted our programs as well. But look, the most important thing we can do is to ensure that we never get into this crisis again. That's why I testified today about the reform process we're undertaking with the GSEs, and it's why the president is meeting with bipartisan leaders today at the White House to talk about financial regulatory reform. We have to make sure that we never get into this kind of crisis again, and that's what we're going to ensure that we do by reforming the financial system and reforming the GSEs.
Secretary Donovan, on the problems with the loans, on the J.P. Morgan earnings call this morning, CEO Jamie Dimon said on the issue of principal forgiveness, his quote, "We are not ideologically opposed to principal forgiveness. It has to be done on a loan-by-loan basis. That's the only fair way to do it. Principal forgiveness is not that different than reducing payouts for 5 years." Is Dimon correct?
Well, if you look at the actions that the big banks have taken, including J.P. Morgan Chase, all four have signed up for our second lien program. All four have said that they look forward to working with us on our FHA program that's going to help reduce negative equity. So we think we've taken a targeted approach that's going to make a real difference for homeowners. And what you see is the banks have agreed that the kind of approach that we're taking makes sense.
Do we need to be concerned here, other than that sound of the siren, that the home buying tax credit expires in a couple weeks here? Mortgage rates already going up above 5%, putting a damper on the number of applications.
Well, look, there's no question that the market is still fragile, but we saw a 9% increase in pending home sales in February. And we do think that as we step back carefully from the market, you saw the Fed's actions. There was a tick up in rates. Most people attribute that to the good news that we've had in the economy, the good jobs report, other positive signs, rather than the Fed withdrawal. We're going to be watching the market very, very carefully. The recovery is still fragile, and we're going to continue to make adjustments in our programs to ensure that we have a stable, lasting recovery. But let's not forget, again, how far that we've come. 30 straight months of declines in the housing market when we took office, and we've now had 8 months in a row, in case Schiller, of increasing or stable prices.
Housing and Urban Development Secretary Shaun Donovan, many thanks for your time.
Great to be with you.